Welcome once again. It's Judy Julin, and today I have the distinct pleasure of sitting down with Sebastian Steinbach, and he is a great new friend, one that I met through Children's Health Defense California teen group that I'm also proud to be a part of. So today we'll be talking about his work with youth, with teens and screens, and his overall perspective on education today. So welcome, Sebastian.
Thank you, Judy.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, feeling excited, feeling happy to talk to you.
Perhaps we could start out by letting people know a little bit about you, perhaps how you and I met, and through, of course, CHDCA and Northern California projects for teens. So please let us know a little bit about you.
Right on. So, as you already mentioned, I'm an import from Europe. Moved here 10 years ago. Followed the call of reinventing myself and the promise of democracy and self-expression and creativity. So that brought me here to California. I've got 3 kids. They're now 10, 12, and 14 years old. And I've spent a lot of time with them since I came here. They were my predominant occupation. And I'm very glad I made that choice. How I got involved with the Children's Health Defense teen team is that about a year and a half ago, at the end of the whole crazy pandemic lockdown measures, I was ready to do something about all those kids, including mine, that were cooped up at home and staring at screens, feeling depressed, anxious, lonely, and really stunted in their development. And so I began working with what I call the Wild Hearts Kids Club, which brings indoor but mostly outdoor experiences to kids and teens that foster creativity and courage and ultimately building their self-confidence and connection to nature. And so I've been experimenting with that. And the Children's Health Defense group is on a similar trajectory, trying to find ways to bring freedom-minded teens together, build community, a meaningful community. And so we met, and I was able to contribute with events that those teens enjoy. Throughout the last year, hosted numerous nerf tournaments, which are plastic guns that shoot soft darts, and kids from ages 5 to 99 really love playing with them. And so the teens were no exception. And so they came together in a beautiful space that I'm able to use, an Aikido dojo in San Mateo, Aikido by the Bay. And for 2 hours, they were just having the best of times. Music was playing. They were inventing their own games. And all the parents were just very happy that there was this forum where they could be with each other and creating their own world in a way. And we're going to do it again this coming weekend.
That's what I heard. Congratulations. I mean, news travels fast from Northern California to Southern California. Well, I'm in Santa Monica, and through our CHDCA teen team, they speak so highly of you. I'm so glad to know you, and I love the fact that you are aligned with nature. It's so great to be outside for kids. And I also know that, and I've heard from you, that there are some guiding principles that kind of fuel and help you to move forward with your vision for education and what you're doing with your own children. Would you talk a little bit about some of your guiding principles?
Yes, the ones that I know of so far. So I'm very much work in progress, and I'm learning every day about what is true and what works. And I would say the 3 things that I have come to hold on to because they work and feel meaningful is make it okay to make mistakes, to try things. And if something goes wrong, there's no judgment, there's no scolding. It's part of life. It's just feedback. And so I make mistakes all the time too, and I do my best to own that with the kids, and then they make big eyes and somehow have a little bit more trust to just try something themselves. And so that takes away a big amount of fear and anxiety for kids to not do the right or wrong thing. The second one is to really give them power. Kids usually don't have any say in anything that happens to them. They get hauled around and dominated around the clock by their well-meaning parents. But what really opens them up is when I tell them that they can change the rules of the game, when they make a suggestion and I pause and say, you know what, that's a really good idea, let's do that. And so they will bring more and more ideas, and they will open up more and more. And that is exactly what, one of the things I want to support is their self-expression, and learning that, wow, I matter, my voice matters, I have a say in my life. So really building their agency, not controlling everything, is the flip side of that coin. So that's number 2 about. The number 3 is maybe the most important one, and not always easy to model myself, which is normalize emotions, especially the big and difficult ones, because we all have them. And kids in the play dates I host, there will every single time be a frustrated, a angry, a hurt, a sad moment for at least one of the children, and then how to respond to that. And the default is to suppress it and to push it away. And they even try to do that because they don't want to look weak or vulnerable. And that's, of course, the very wrong thing to have happen. My intention is to actually be with that child and relate to it in a way that it feels held and seen and safe and empathized with, and not alone and outed by, oh, I'm having a breakdown or a meltdown. All these words are labeling them already in a negative manner. And so the reason that it's not easy is that there's a part of me that does want to control the experience, that does want to have happy emotions happen in the events. And I need to remind myself that, well, this is part of reality. It's very important that I model. This is important. We pause. We don't just brush over that. Something's going on for one of us. And so let's be with that. And so that is the third guiding principle. I like it too, actually.
Yeah, I really like it. One of the things, I was listening to the Truth Tour, actually, where this is going to be featured on one of my talks. And they talked about, and this is something I talk about too, Sebastian, so I'd love your thoughts on it. And that is for us to authentically be with and help normalize emotions, big emotions for children, to authentically come across as that it's important that we ourselves, we adults, do that, so that, I like to say, we become that which we're proposing for children, because they see it. If it's inauthentic, they understand it. And it's so in a few words, or however you might like to relay it, how do you do your personal work and tend to your own garden so that you can then reflect balance and authenticity and freedom of emotions with the kids?
Yeah, so I have an intention and I have a reality, because as everyone, I'm a flawed human being. My intention is to have time daily to just sit with myself. What helps me most is to not get rushed into doing. One of my mechanisms to avoid feeling myself is actually jamming my calendar full of stuff, so I have no moment to even notice that I have feelings, and then they will fester in the underground. So an ideal way for me to work with it is to actually take time and make time, 1 or 2 hours in the morning, to just be with myself and feel everything that comes up and allow it. That is a foundation of a good day for me. And then doing my best to stay slow. So that is connected to the doing. Like, I tend to speed up and get into my head, and then I disconnect from my body and my feelings. And I mean, just now being a little nervous and anxious in the interview is a good example of that. Checking back in, setting back up, feeling what am I feeling, and speaking from the heart and not from a speedy headspace helps me be actually present to reality more. And that is a felt difference that I can tell from like a minute ago to now. I can see you, I can feel you more. So there is that presence. Cultivating that is key to everything, really. And it's rare. I have been practicing this for years in an intentional community called Leap Forward with a teacher called Ronit Hertzfeld. Training us. I practice every day, and I still suck at it a lot. So it's very difficult work because our monkey minds always want to take us away.
I'm shaking my head because I understand exactly what you're talking about. Here's one of the things that I'd like us to touch on and perhaps explore for a moment. And that is, for a while, and perhaps even continuingly so, I feel that, of course, the children are our teachers. And in a larger kind of cosmic sense, I used to think, wow, certain children are born to certain parents, and perhaps let's just say slowing down is something that, as a parent, as a human, I share too. That's something that you want to slow down and feel your feelings. And sometimes these parents or teachers or whomever, perhaps there are children in their midst, in their family, in their classroom, that actually push those buttons so that we can, as adults, and wouldn't that be interesting if the children were our teachers and they were paired with us for very cosmic spiritual reasons to push those very buttons?
Oh, I think that is true, actually. I mean, I have a very similar perspective on that. I believe that is what happens. That's how the children find us.
Thank you so much. How can people get in touch with you, learn more about what you're doing, Sebastian, and perhaps continue the conversation with you?
Yeah, I would be very happy to connect with curious, caring parents, just like I am, to develop good stuff together. And like easy ways are an email or a phone text. Don't call me because my phone will send you to my robot mailbox. So text or emails are best.
So I can give out your phone number for text. I can give out your email.
Yeah.
I'll put the and any websites that I can send them to at this point.
I'll give you my website as well, and you can send it out too.
Great.
And there is
Great
stuff all the time to see.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to working with you with Children's Health Defense California Chapter Teen Group, and I look forward to continuing our conversation because I really think that your heart-centered, compassionate view of parenting and education is something that is going to be more and more at the forefront as we move ahead in these days. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.